Major labels thought they had a superstar with Action Bronson. However, the only problem for them was that he had no interest in playing the game by their rules. In fact, he spent his entire career tearing apart the hip-hop playbook and still managed to be a success. He's even survived gaining the hatred of the entire Wu-Tang clan and is still respected within the genre because of how fearless he is when it comes to simply being himself. My name is Louaista, and today we're going to be talking about how Action Bronson rejected the music industry and made it on his own. Where most rappers dream of a career as an artist from a young age, Action Bronson didn't start rapping till he was 28 years old. Born to Albanian parents in Queens, New York, Arian Arsalani had lived several lives before he ever picked up a mic. In fact, he even went to culinary school and back before he ever began making music.
I was a cook.
For how many years?
Shit, for maybe 9, 10 years.
Okay. When you started to come out with music and stuff though, like how important was it to you to make it, to not be a cook anymore, a chef anymore? The
real situation was I broke my leg and then, you know, I started getting paid for fucking doing rap verses and I was like, yo, this is it. There's something here. As long as I got my foot in the door, I could do something.
To say he got his foot in the door is an understatement, because from the minute he came out in 2011, he had all the charisma and talent to get people hooked. Possessing an endless supply of references to wrestling, sports, American pop culture, and food, no one had ever heard punchlines like Bronson's before.
Now I'm sitting in first class with a hard dick, listening to German guitar riffs. What a life! She threw the condom, told me put it in. I did. Fuck. I nutted in like 3 strokes.
With fans taking to the comments, writing, one of the, if not the most original guy in hip-hop right now. One of the funniest, this guy is dope. Well, there was one guy he would be compared to, and that would cause serious problems a little bit down the line, which we'll discuss in the latter half of this video. But back then, Bronsolino would be the first person to admit that the reason why he was so original is because he didn't have any clue what he was doing at first.
I didn't know how to make a hook. That's really what it comes from. I didn't know what the fuck, what's that? The hook, nah, I don't know. Just keep repeating something.
Within a year of dropping his first tape, Bon Appetit Bitch, Bronson had dropped 2 albums, including a joint project with Static Selecta. By 2012, he was working with legendary producers like The Alchemist, while his Blue Chips mixtape series with Party Supplies taught the world that his formula had real potential. And when the industry begins to see that you've got a buzz that you've created by yourself, they're going to try to work out how they can get a little slice of that. So in 2012, he signed to Warner Bros. Before being traded to Atlantic Records via a deal with the controversial media company Vice. As you'll see, they'd go on to play a big role in Bronson's career, and not all of it was necessarily positive. Even with the backing of a major label, it didn't always seem like he was capable of becoming a mainstream figure. Right out the gate, he was accused of being a misogynist when a Now magazine reviewer, who'd went to one of his notoriously rowdy shows, painted him in a very negative light. During one song, Bronson brought a woman on stage, threw her over his shoulder, put her down in front of him, and proceeded to grope and shake her breasts for like a long time. Then he tossed her away like a piece of trash. Rather than give into the pressure though, Bronson did the best thing someone who feels like they know who they are could do, and pushed right through. He responded via an interview with Pigeons and Planes, stating, "If I'm a fucking schmuck, I apologize. I know when I'm wrong, sometimes I don't. Sometimes someone tells me and then I see it and I figure it out. But I'm not this type of person. I don't know what type of person someone would think I am. I'm a great man, I'm a great father, I'm a great everything. But I'm also a shithead. I'm not the greatest human. Show me one that is." Despite this seeming like a pretty big deal, it clearly didn't do much to damage his reputation. Because in 2013, he hit the Billboard Hot 100 for the first time with Sob Stories EP. But suddenly, the prolific Action Bronson, who dropped 2 albums in the first year of his career, was left on the shelf. Where he used to drop prolifically, it took 3 years from signing a deal for him to drop his major label debut. And immediately, he realized that the game as we know it might not be for him.
Is there a reason to be on a major?
We'll see. Yeah. As of right now, I don't feel, I mean, I feel like I would have been moving already, you know, like you have to wait for people. Like I'm not that type of dude. I'm a DIY, you know?
What's that mean?
Do it yourself.
Oh.
Left waiting, Action got restless, but also appeared to get a little bit suckered in by the talk that he was the next big thing. Because in a move that was completely out of character, he would even end up overshadowing the release of his debut album by beefing with a real hip-hop legend. Ahead of the release of his debut album, Mr. Wonderful, Action Bronson was suddenly doing more press than ever before. And a regular topic that came up would be his similarities in style to Ghostface Killah. Whenever the legendary Wu rapper came up, Action was initially respectful.
Listen, never met you before, but I do check for your stuff because you sound like one of my favorite MCs of all time, Ghostface Killah.
Yeah, he gets that a lot.
Was he an influence of yours?
Of course, the whole Wu was an influence of mine, honestly. And if I feel like if you didn't like Wu-Tang growing up, I have to question you.
Or
But over time, he seemed to grow increasingly frustrated with the comparison and maybe began getting a little cocky.
First time I heard you, I was like, yo, Ghost got some new stuff.
He's not rapping like this no more.
Whoa, was that a shot at the Ghost?
No,
Oh.
just being honest.
I like that.
After he went on mainstream platforms like ESPN and basically suggested that Ghostface didn't have what it takes anymore, everyone immediately knew it was a huge mistake. Especially when fans turned to the comment section saying things like, Action got a sudden boost in ego, he tried to stand by it, and then felt Iron Man's beam upon him. I love how literally everyone on set, including Action Bronson, knew it was a fucking rap. They seemed pretty scared that Ghostface would show up immediately. Sure enough, it wouldn't be long until Ghostface responded, and he didn't hold back.
First of all, you little fat fuck, who gives you the right to even mention my name out your motherfucking mouth? Bro, you done made a mistake, boy. You done fucked up, man. Because listen, man, you can never fuck with my pen, my nigga. My sword, my blade, whatever you want to call it, I'm too nasty for you. This is why the fuck you look up to me. It sound like me. You walk around the club with no shoes on, big ass beard that one day I might set that shit on fire. Just for fucking saying my name, baby.
Soon, this led to a confrontation with Papa Wu at underground legend Sean Price's funeral, where Bronson was basically sent packing. But hardcore hip-hop fans have very long memories, and for them, that was enough to write him off entirely, and contributed to some of them no longer checking for him. His wave stopped the moment he got punked by Ghostface. To this day, it seems like it's still a bit of a sore spot for the usually cool, calm, and composed rapper. The mere mention of the beef nearly provoked him to violence during an interview.
If you could choose any person, any celebrity to meet to be like the ambassador to aliens, who would you choose? Would you send Ghostface out there?
Why would we want to send him there?
Maybe if the aliens are being hostile.
Hey, that's fucking ridiculous, bro. I bet you think that's really cute, right? That you brought that up.
Nah.
Hey, Ghostface.
What about the wrestling world? You want to dabble in that a little more?
Nah, I'd like to slam you through a fucking wall.
Left feeling rejected by one of the artists he'd idolized growing up, Action should have been at the top of the world as he released his major label debut, Mr. Wonderful. But as he was about to find out, having the pressures of a major label bearing down on him would be the opposite of how he wanted to create. Although it reached number 7 on the billboards and gave him a bit of a crossover hit with Baby Blue featuring Chance the Rapper, Action took the fact that it received some mixed reviews pretty badly. For someone who always seems so laid back, it was a real shock to see him heading onto Twitter to basically claim that it wasn't him, but that the audience was wrong. "If I did what you wanted, I wouldn't be me. Not a good look for Action," wrote a fan as the tweets came out. "I'm a big Bronson fan, and while I totally fuck with his whole shtick, even I thought the album was bloated. I get that it's the artist's vision and you want to take a creative risk, but you can't get mad when that creative risk doesn't pay off." With that one record being made to major label specifications and the way he responded to it, Action ran the risk of souring his fanbase on the persona that made him a star. But thankfully, his frustration would lead to an epiphany, because after that, he realized that not only was he not fit for the modern industry, but that he really didn't want to be either.
I mean, I'm not a single artist. I like making full plates. I don't like get stuck within transitions and shit like that. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. No one cares about that shit these days, or some do, but you know, the modern thought is just fucking keep cranking out single. I can't do that.
Suddenly aware that he wasn't going to be a star on the industry's terms, Action was about to reclaim his career direction from the jaws of potential failure. And more impressively, he diversified his appeal like no one else by becoming hip-hop's resident king of side quests. As I mentioned earlier, Action Bronson was a chef long before he was ever a rapper. But even as he became an MC, his passion for the culinary world never died. So after making a few YouTube videos called Cooking with Action Bronson, a YouTube series with Vice known as Fuck That's Delicious was born. Over time, this would morph into a TV show once they launched their network. The concept was simple. Alongside his homies Mayhem Lauren, Big Body Benz, and The Alchemist, Bronson would fly around the world sampling food and drink while enjoying new experiences. Through watching it, people got to escape for a little bit, and by the sounds of it, so did Action.
When I watch your show, I'm like reminded of how great that experience is and how nice it is to be in Italy in some little town and you're just checking out some new spot. Like, cause you seem so in the moment in that, like on the show. You just seem like you actually feel like this is what you were meant to be doing.
This is exactly what I feel, man, and this is what I mean by saying that, you know, I live my life and I do exactly what I want as my job. So I don't even give a fuck that the camera's there. I'm in my own moment, you know?
Right.
They're just filming my moment.
Now established in the food world to the point that it would eventually lead to an olive oil line and organic wine drops, Bronson suddenly found himself in a world where some people actually didn't even know that he made music.
You think that there's people that found out about you through non-rap content and then went back to your rap and are surprised how nice you are?
Yeah, 100%, because at this point, a lot of people know me for the food show, but there's people that know me just from rap.
And after Mr. Wonderful, it was a lifeline. For a while, he dropped next to nothing. And when he did pop back out, he realized that making hits really didn't move him.
I didn't put something out for almost 2 years now, a full project. You know, I put out a couple songs. I put out the joint with Mark Ronson and the Black Keys for the Suicide Squad soundtrack. They wanted me to put that on the album. I didn't want to put it on the album because I thought it was too commercial. And I ended up being, you know, it doesn't have a video. It has like 15 million You just can't call shit like that, you know what I mean?
Many artists would aim for those high viewing numbers, or at least they'd use that popularity to help their album sell more. But for Bronsolino, this really didn't connect with him. What really resonated with him was the kind of stuff he did back in his underground days.
But then I put out fucking Do-Rag vs. Headband.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
Right.
That right there is where I'm at.
Right.
Produced by motherfucking Knowledge, and you know, that makes me grab my fucking balls, you know? Makes me grab my balls hard.
To this day, his track from the soundtrack doesn't have a visual, yet it still has 21 million views. While Do-Rag vs. Headband only has 4 mil to this day, even with an official video. Here, we see the mentality that separates Action from everyone playing the industry game. Because to him, it matters about what fulfills him, not what fills his pockets the most. With that mentality, he could never work in the major label system.
I can't be held. I can't be told what to do because that's automatically not gonna want me to do it. I can't take any, like, yo, maybe you should try that now, man. No.
So with that mentality ingrained in him, Bronson went independent in 2018 and has never looked back. And soon he'd cut ties with everyone to make himself completely self-sustainable. This belief that he only does things his way didn't start and end with music. It has also led to conflict with one of the media conglomerates that put him on in the first place, Vice. After making several seasons of TV with them, including spin-offs like his Ancient Aliens show, there was trouble in paradise. Mainly because, as a report from Spin revealed, he wasn't afraid to show just how little he cared about acting within their corporate structure. According to at least 10 staffers at the New York office, Bronson has used the creative latitude awarded to him for his nightly show to treat the office, including its main lobby, as what one described as a playhouse, they wrote. Another staffer described the office as being held hostage by his nightly show. Employees recounted incidents in which Bronson brought goats into the office, as well as a marching band. Sometimes, the nuances were more routine, such as Bronson and his crew sprinting through the office with fitness trainer Troy Brooks. According to multiple sources, Bronson recently rode a bike into an editorial meeting being held by Vice's music website, Noisy, with a camera crew in tow, interrupting it for several minutes by yelling at gathered staffers in the role of a mock manager about raising their productivity. With their two visions not going hand in hand, and his behavior getting crazier, Bronson revealed in October of 2018 that he parted ways with Vice. And with that, he had no more ties anymore.
It's reached its time, you know, it's reached its moment where I need to be able to spread my wings just like musically. I have too many ideas for shows that work to be, you know, stagnated to doing one every fucking 2 years. It's not my thing.
Around that time, he sounded off on Twitter about the deal. You weirdo motherfuckers are lucky to have ever been in my presence. Fuck you and all of your bullshit. I'll take my talents elsewhere because you sure don't appreciate what I've done for you. Fuck That's Delicious is forever, bitch. I own all the rights. I created it. Now free to do whatever he wants, Action really sees that opportunity with both hands. He wrote a book called Fuck It, I'll Start Tomorrow, wrestled for AEW, appeared in movies including Pete Davidson's King of Staten Island, and even really got into painting. Along the way, he's even changed his life for the better by losing 130 pounds. Happier, healthier, and with more options than ever, Action is open about the fact that music isn't his main focus anymore. And whatever happens, he won't go back to being an employee of a label now that he's got control once more.
I'm not a fucking puppet.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm the puppeteer. I'm the puppet master. I'm the one pulling the fucking string. I'm making the guy do this and all the dances. I'm doing that.
So what happened when they first tried to make you dance?
Well, I don't think they ever tried to really make me dance because they knew I wasn't gonna dance. And that's why I became independent quite quickly.
Yeah.
But that's not to say for a second that he won't drop music anymore. Just a year removed from his Crocodillo Turbo album, Bronson may not have seen the charts for years now. But why would he have to when all the proceeds from his cooking show and occasional music drops go directly into his pocket? Plus, he's now such a pop culture icon with a distinctive way with words that there's a Twitter account dedicated to finding people accidentally talking like him. So how can he fail? A true independent artist, Bronson could have been bigger if he played by the rules or tried to soften his edges, but he didn't. And now, he's still around, and maybe more importantly, he's at peace with himself. I've always had confidence, but now it's genuine, he told The Fader in 2022. I'm comfortable in my own skin. It's not cockiness or overconfidence or some fucking douchey shit. It's just me. If we're talking competition, I'm a fucking animal. I want to win everything, but I know winning isn't everything. And I don't need verification from anybody to define me or my career. Motherfuckers can say what they want. They're not selling out 6,000 people shows, he concluded. You can see who was around 12 years ago when I started and who's around now still being productive. Not many people. Also, before this video ends, guys, I just want to say I actually do own one of these books and it's super sick. So it's like a, it's like a little cooking book that goes with his show, Fuck That's Delicious, that I was talking about. That's on Vice. Pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? My little brother actually got it. We made a few recipes from it, it was pretty cool. This is not a promo, by the way, not a promo. Just letting y'all know that was a cool thing I wanted to share. Anyways, yeah, peace out. See you guys next video.